Okay, systems of equations. Let's get right to it. Got a lot to cover here. Solve the systems of equations by graphing. You have to graph these two equations and you need to find the coordinate where they intersect. Okay, that's the coordinate that's in both, that satisfies both equations. Okay, so I'm going to kind of make a table on my scratch paper. You can do it right here too if you want. Y equals negative x plus 3, and then we have y equals x plus 1. Now this sets up pretty easy because we have y by itself and then mx, m being negative 1, and b. So the slope is going to be negative 1, and then the y-intercept is going to be positive 3. We better put that over 1. So then I go up the 3, 1, 2, 3 on the y-axis. Then from there I go down 1, right 1. Okay, then I take my straight edge, and this has to be a very precise graph, and you graph the line. Okay, and my other equation, y equals x plus 1, y is by itself, so you got mx plus b. So slope, y-intercept. So the slope's 1 over, and then positive 1 is your y-intercept. Okay, so I go to positive 1 on the y. And then from there, I'm going to go up 1, right 1. So I have the point right there, and then complete the line. So I pretty much see where they're going to cross. Okay, so there's a point of intersection. Now you got to figure out where they're at on x. So on x, you're at positive 1. And then on y, you're at 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2 is a point of intersection. Okay, now the next one, number 2, y equals 2x plus 5. Then we have negative 2x minus y equals negative 1. Okay, so y equals 2x plus 5. Then we have negative 2x minus y equals negative 1. Okay, this first one's in mx plus b form. Okay, see the slope is 2 over 1, and then the y-intercept is positive 5. Okay, so you go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, from there we go right 1, up 2, right 1. Okay, now the other one we got some work to do. We have to get the y by itself. So here's my y. It's multiplied by a negative 1. So the first thing I'm going to do is switch it to an opposite. So positive 2x, plot positive 1y, and then positive 1. Now I need to get the y by itself. So you get a minus 2x, and you put a 0x and minus 2x from there. Now you got to keep in mind you need the x first, so 0 minus 2 is negative 2, then the constant 1. Then divide by 1. Really, that's kind of stupid to do because it's the same thing. We have y equals negative 2x plus 1, so y is by itself, mb. So the slope is negative 2 over 1, and the y-intercept is positive 1. Okay, so right there. And then down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, and they're going to cross. We just have to figure out the point where they're going to cross. My graph is not the greatest here, I will admit. They cross here. I'm going to just kind of estimate where that's at. So on x, I'm at negative 1. I'm about at negative 1. If you're closer to negative 2, then put it. Then at y, I'm 1, 2, 3. Okay? So negative 1, 3. Okay, next problem. You can go on your scratch paper. I'm just going to do it from right here because I can always go down there further. So I have y equals 2x minus 1. And then I have 3y equals 6x minus 3. So this one I have mx plus b, so slope, y-intercept. So it's 2 over 1, and then minus 1 is your y-intercept. Okay, so up 2, right 1. Okay, now on the other one, we have the x where we want it. We just have to get rid of that we're out at positive multiplying, so we just divide everything by 3. We don't need to move anything, okay? So now we have y by itself, and then 2x minus 1. So MB. So slope is 2 over 1, and the y-intercept is negative 1. Funny thing is, we already have that. Now, there's two kind of weird things when they don't cross, when you can't really get two lines that cross. There's no solution, I want you to write this, no solution, or IMS, that stands for infinitely many solutions. It's no solution if you have parallel lines, two separate lines, but they're parallel. It's IMS if it's the same line, same exact line. Well, it looks like we have the same exact line, so this can be IMS. Okay, next one. Solve the system by substitution. Now, you're solving it without the graph. Now, substitution, you're looking for the intersection point. You got to look for a letter that's by itself. In this case, we have the y. So that's called your base letter. And then x plus 3 is the expression we're going to replace y with. So I write the other equation, 2x plus 2y equals 38. Now y is your base, so you want to parenthesize the y, then cross it out, and inside there put x plus 3. So we replace y with x plus 3. Now you have to distribute, okay? You got to take 2 times 2x and 2 times 3. So 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 3 is 6. Then you have this other 2x you have to add, okay? Now you v up your x's, that's going to make 4x plus 6 equals 38. And you minus 6, divide by 4, and you got your solution for x. 4 times x equals 32. Divide each side by 4, and you have x equals 8. So 8's your x value. Now, write your base. We're solving for y, so use the one that's got the y by itself. So we have our solution for x, which is 8. So y is equal to 8 plus 3. Well, 8 plus 3 is 11, so y equals 11. Okay, we're going to do another substitution. X equals 2y plus 3, negative 2x plus 3y equals 5, okay? Substitution, you're looking for a base letter. And this time you have x as your base. And then the expression 2y plus 3 is what you're going to replace x with, base replace. Now write your other equation. And then parenthesize your x and then cross it out. And in the parentheses put a little 2y plus 3. So you take negative 2 times 2y and then negative 2 times positive 3. Negative 2 times 2y is negative 4y, and then negative 2 times positive 3 is negative 6. Then remember to add your 3y, and then you have 5. Okay, now you're solving for y, so you v your y's, so that's negative 1y plus negative 6 equals 5. Then you get y by itself. You plus 6, divide by negative 1. So that's 11. Divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1, and y equals negative 11. Okay, now let's write out that we want to solve for x. So use the equation that's got the x by itself. Okay. So y is negative 11, so this means 2 times y, so it's 2 times negative 11 plus 3. So you need to multiply first. 2 times negative 11 is negative 22 plus 3, and that's negative 19. Okay, there's your answer. Okay, now in our second type, our third way to solve is elimination. Okay, we don't really have a letter by itself, so when you're using elimination, you want to organize your x's into a column, the y's in a column, the equals should be lined up. And then what you want to see is you want to see if you can get your x's to add to 0 or your y's to add to 0. Okay? So 6x plus 3x is 9x. 5y plus 5y is 10y. So right now they don't add to 0. But you have the same, a common multiplier in front of the y's. So if you just switch this bottom equation to the opposite, negative, 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 and then plus, you're going to get 0, okay? So 6 plus negative 3 is 3x. 5 plus negative 5 is 0y. And then 39 plus negative 27 is 12. So get rid of your 0y. You don't have that anymore. And then you just divide each side by 3. X equals 4. So your x value is 4. Now to solve for y, I would just go with your top equation. I'd write 6x plus 5y equals 39. Then x equals 4. So 6 times 4 is 24. Okay? So you have 24 plus 5y equals 39. Now solve for y. So subtract 24, and you're at 15. So 5 times y equals 15. Then divide by 5, and y equals 3. 4, 3. Now we're going to use elimination again, okay? Now, 5 plus 3 is 8, so that does not make 0. Negative 9 plus 8 is negative 1. That doesn't make 0, and I don't have anything that's the same. So what I do is I multiply times, 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 times. We're going to get the x's to be the same. So we have a 3 here, so we're going to go 3, 3, 3. Then a 5 here, 5, 5, 5. We've done this many times. So 3 times 5x is 15x. Negative 9y times 3 is negative 27y. And then 3 times negative 43 is negative 129. Okay, then the bottom, you're going to have 15x plus 40y. And then 68 times 4 is going to be 68 times 5 is going to be 340. Okay, now you have the same right there. They don't add to 0 yet. You need to switch the bottom to the opposite. Negative, 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 and then you add. Okay, always add. So there's your 0x. So that means you don't have x. Negative 27 plus negative 40 is going to give you negative 67y. And then negative 129 plus negative 340 gives me negative 469. Then I just divide each side by negative 67, and I have my answer for y. I got 7. Okay, so y is 7. Now go back to your very first equation, and you got 5x minus 9y equals negative 43. So you have to put 7 in place of the y. So this is negative 9 times 7. That's negative 63. You're timesing it. So 5x plus negative 63 equals negative 43. Then you add 63 and divide by 5. So plus 63 takes you to 20. Then you divide by 5, and you get 4. X equals 4. I gotta go post another video because this battery's about to die.